Hi everybody, welcome to week one. So in this video, I'm going to go over the week one announcement that's posted on D2L and just give you some extra advice and guidance, things that I want you to know and places and resources that you can go to help you out as you complete your assignment. So the first thing you'll see is the weekly to-dos. You do have two things due. I mentioned in the other video, but I will mention it again. This is an asynchronous class, but you are still going to have assignments that are due on a weekly basis. Typically, that's going to be on Sunday, but in this case, as you can see, this first week, we are actually going to have something due on Wednesday. And the reason is because this is an online class, this Wednesday assignment, when you submit it, that's the way that you're going to signify to me that you've logged into the class and that you're interested in attending, because we will be filling out those never attend reports for students who don't log in and don't do the work. So you need, in order to not be counted as not attending the course, you need to submit an assignment within the first week. So that's our assignment. And it's basically just a chance for you to introduce yourself. So that one's really important. You'll see that the next one is going to be due on Sunday, May 25th. You have an academic integrity assignment. That's basically a quiz that you're going to submit. This is a good opportunity to talk about due dates. You'll see that there are hard due dates. Things are going to be due throughout the semester, even though we're in asynchronous class. And so the late policy is still going to apply. Hopefully you had a chance to review it, but just a quick review. The late policy is that for smaller formative assignments, you have up to 48 hours to turn in the assignment for 10% off. And for those bigger formative assignments, those bigger summative assignments that you turn in at the end of the unit, so you're talking about your papers and your presentations, those you can turn in up to a week late for 15% off as the late penalty. So make sure you're staying on top of those things, because those late penalties can start to add up, especially if they turn into zeros. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to email me. I do have a task for you to do, which is to look over this article, What is an Exploratory Research Essay? Because that's going to give you an idea of the summative assignment we're working towards at the end of this unit. And then I've broken down our different pieces of the things that are due. I've broken down resources into two separate categories. So the first assignment that's listed here is that academic integrity assignment. That's going to be a quiz that you're going to work on. And some resources that will help you out with that: understanding plagiarism, the college's statement on academic dishonesty, and the college's academic integrity policy. When you click into the actual quiz itself, the description, these items are going to be linked there as well. This is an open source, open note quiz. You can have these links, and in fact, I encourage you to. You can have these links open as you're answering the quiz. The quiz is going to ask you some questions, a little bit about citation, a lot about plagiarism, and some scenarios that focus on plagiarism and AI, use of AI. So this is also my chance to say, in an online class, especially in an accelerated format, it can be really tempting to use AI. This is kind of a moment where I want to talk about it, because one of the things that you'll do on the academic integrity assignment, at the end, you're going to sign your name to an agreement that you're not going to use AI to write your papers for you. In a course that is predicated on writing and showing your writing process and your thought process, it's really important that you're generating your own work. So there are some ethical uses of AI. You can use AI to check over things and give you suggestions like, you have a lot of sentence fragments, you should fix that. You can use AI to help you with brainstorming what would be a good topic to talk about in my 102 course. But as far as using AI to rewrite your original words or to completely create your original words, that's something you definitely want to avoid. If something like that does occur, because there has been, a flag, we do use the software Turnitin to kind of check for AI. And I use other methods, and I don't just automatically look at the AI Turnitin report and say, oh, there's a problem. But we do have tools that we use to monitor AI. And if there is a suspected instance of AI, I will most likely reach out to you to have a conversation about it the first time. But I just want to make you aware that moving forward, if there's a repeated pattern of AI usage, that is something that has to be forwarded up to a higher office than me, up to the Dean of Instruction's office to look into it. So it's definitely something you want to avoid, because in an accelerated class, even if we have a conversation and I realize that maybe you used AI and didn't realize that your use of it was not okay, and we decide that we're going to maybe like work together to do a rewrite, you're still going to have a quick turnaround time to get all of your work done, and you're going to have more things due on top of any kind of rewrite. And that's just something that you want to avoid in general. So I recommend staying away from AI. That's my little speech about that. And then the last thing that I just want to talk about really quickly is when you go into the Unit 1 Topic Development Brainstorm discussion board, this is a discussion board to help you think of topics, because we are going to be working with the same topic all semester. Whole semester, same topic. You're going to be writing different papers on it and finding different sources, but you're going to be working with the same one. And I'm pretty strict about not letting you change, because once you go down a path, I don't want you to lose the work that you have done. So I want you to select a good topic from the beginning. So we're going to have multiple chances to brainstorm one. And this discussion board helps you think of some things that might be inspired from your own life. So it also serves as an introduction. And when you look at this discussion board, when you go in there, I have included a sample for you to look at. So there is a sample post that I created that you can use as a model. And there's also a sample reply that you can see how I want you to do your replies to your peers. All right, so this video is getting longer than I wanted to. If you stayed to the end, thank you so much. If you stayed to the end, if you email me the word banana, I will send you back an emoji telling you that you are on track to be a wonderful student for listening to this whole video, even though I violated the rule. It should really be, under 5 minutes. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful first week.